Happy New Year, people. 2026, you know. Yikes. Like, we're actually closer to 2030s than noughties in the 20s. And my back is definitely feeling it now, I won't lie to you lot. But we give God thanks for bringing us through 2025 and into 2026. Only His grace and mercies, because 2025 was a year and a half. There were blessings, many, many blessings, but many, 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 many trials. But anyways, I think through those trials, I kind of learned how easy it is for my brain to drift. I learned how easy it is to live in my head, to live in my expectations, to live in my future, to live in my worries, in my angst, instead of just being where my feet are. And at the end of 2025, I think I was thinking, what do I want my 2026 to be like? And the first word that came to me was joy. And I want to choose joy much more. But then it was also, how can I be more joyful? And I think it was just impressed upon me to be where my feet are much, much more. And I know a lot of people, when they hear be where your feet are, you instantly think it means to be present, be in the moment. And that's true. But the more I pondered upon it and the more I reflected upon being where your feet are, a lot of other words and other, what do I call it? Topics, elements, other things resonated with me when I was thinking about it. So I'm just going to share with you how to be where your feet are as we go into 2026. So yeah, so the first element was dying to self control. I've actually put a quote about this on my mood board. That's how serious I am this year. But anyway, I realize I'm actually a fiend for comfort. I think as humans, we all are. We love what we know. We love what we like. We love what gives us that instant gratification. If something's uncomfortable for us, we want to get rid of it. We want to run away from it. If something's boring, we act on impulse and chase what's new, what's desirable. If something's taking too long, we find ways to quicken it up. But being where your feet are means resisting the urge to go for what will give you that instant fix of happiness. Being where your feet are means allowing yourself to just sit when you're bored, when you're uncomfortable, whether it's slow, whether it's uneasy. Being where your feet are includes the element of self-control. Sometimes we can think of it as restriction, but I'd say being where your feet are remodels it and allows you to think of it as protection. So the next thing that came to my mind was gluttony. And I know for a lot of people, when they think gluttony, they think food. Now, gluttony isn't just about food, but food is definitely included, as you can see by my chubby cheeks and double chin. But overconsumption can actually just show up in a lot of different ways for different people. This can be doom scrolling on social media. This can be watching something while you're eating. I know I've definitely developed that habit. This can be, I don't know, going for a walk and having to have your headphones on instead of just listening to the birds singing to you. This could be scrolling while watching something. I know I definitely do that sometimes. Essentially, it's just filling every quiet moment or waking moment with some sort of noise, content, or background distraction. I know for me, one of my favorite places is the shower, because I don't take my phone in there. I don't take anything in there. That's just a place where I'm able to just be with my thoughts. And I know that that can be scary for some people, to sit with thoughts or emotion, hence the background distraction. Being where your feet are is not just about knowing what you're consuming, but it's actually stepping back and thinking, why am I actually consuming this? If that makes sense. But yeah, stewarding. Stewarding is my next word. Stewarding is a very big word to me. I think I've been learning what it means to be a good steward since the end of 2025. And the more I've pondered on this word, the more I've realized stewarding isn't just only about managing finances. It's about managing energy, time, talents you've been given, relationships, even managing your rest. Being where your feet are means asking yourself, am I using what I have been entrusted with wisely? It means asking yourself, am I overworking or am I undercommitting? Am I saying yes out of guilt or am I saying no out of fear? Am I using my talents or am I not using my talents? Am I hiding what I've been given? I know someone's gonna watch this video and be like, Tanesha, you won't be using your talents. I be trying. I'm a work in progress. Hence why I'm making this video, because we're all on a learning journey. Amen. Amen. So yeah, being where your feet are just means asking yourself wisely, what am I doing with what I've been given? And being grateful for what you've been given already, instead of doing peeping tom everywhere else. So as I said in the beginning of the video, For me, 2026 is about choosing joy and choosing it a lot more. The annoying thing about my brain, though, is that it can give into something called foreboding joy. And I've actually done a video about this before, but essentially, foreboding joy is rehearsing grief. It's embracing what can go wrong instead of just allowing yourself to feel right and happy in the moment. Being where your feet are means stopping the practice of rehearsing grief and just allowing yourself to be joyful in that moment, allowing yourself to give gratitude in that moment, allowing yourself to enjoy the company of your friends, the company of loved ones, the company of your children, allowing yourself to enjoy the sunset without thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just choosing to be joyful is enough. So, last but not least, is rumination and forgiveness. I know for me, sometimes my brain, and it's so jarring, but it will be the most inconvenient and random times that my brain will be like, I'm gonna share a memory. I'm gonna replay it for you. And it will either be like a discussion, a time I embarrassed myself, just any random scenario of when other people are involved. And then my brain will be like, maybe you should have handled it this way. Maybe you should have said this. Maybe you should have said that. Or what if I see that person again? What if this happens again? How am I gonna respond? How am I gonna react? And it's just this constant anxious being on edge feeling and this constant replaying, and it just becomes overwhelming. And I know a lot of people do it a lot, and a lot of times it can be grounded in anxiety, but also for many people it can be grounded in unforgiveness, and not just unforgiveness of others but also unforgiveness of yourself. Being where your feet are means stop replaying and start forgiving yourself and others. Being where your feet are means allowing yourself to embrace today instead of constantly replaying yesterday, embracing for tomorrow. So, we're almost at the end, but I just want to say I have actually written a blog on this same topic. It's a bit slower paced for those of you that like to read, reflect, journal. You might want to go and read that. I will leave the link in the description below. But also, thank you for watching. I would just like to leave us with a reminder that Matthew 6, verse 34, Jesus did tell us, do not worry for tomorrow will worry for itself. So, let's learn to just be where our feet are for the rest of 2026. Keep that as a mantra, write on your wall, write in your journal, your diary, somewhere. And just remember to be present and try to choose joy for 2026. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully, by God's grace. Bye.